Are we there? I guess we're live. Welcome, everyone. Screen Fiend members, or just regular Screen Fiend subscribers, or you're just browsing through. This is the Loki episode 1, season 2 uh, breakdown. Now, won't make this long, just get to the point. Now, in watching this season, more than anything else, over 10 million people watched this in 3 days. Only The Mandalorian season 3 had a higher number. So going into this, we're looking at a whole different genre as the people who did the Moon Knight series is directing season 2. Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. Because the way the installment is set up, it's set up more in sequence to pass in different times. So to better orchestrate that in a more concise way, you're kind of seeing semblance to Moonlight when his character was going in and out of memory of time as to what Loki is doing in this episode when he's slipping through time. You have Sophia DiMartino returning as Sylvie, Tom Hiddleston is Loki, Owen Wilson is Morbius, and Gugu Mbatha Raw is Judge Renslayer, who we hadn't seen yet. And of course, Jonathan Majors is Kane, who we also haven't seen yet. Now, the way we're moving at this point is saying a lot. We're saying a lot of different introduction to new characters that are showing up, new situations, but it picks up right after season 1 ends, where Loki comes back and no one recognizes him. So he starts off running, and they show a image of King the Conqueror. That is key, people, and I want people to understand what that means. By showing that image of King the Conqueror, what you're doing is showing the people this is the threat. This is what this series is going to be about. Grab hold, because this is it. So through the whole episode, you don't see Kang, but the threat of him is felt. The acting and the delivery, you literally for the first time ever see Loki scared. He shook because he feels what's going to come next. This man saw himself die by the hands of Thanos, like witnessed it, showing like this was your timeline. You died at the hands of Thanos. That was the end of Loki. That was the end of your journey. So him being there and just existing right now is an anomaly to the timeline. It's a branch that is branched off into different directions. Now, here's how the situation like concludes itself or try to fix its purpose. The issue implied is that by seeing this layout and seeing the way things move and transform and go into different directions, you see Loki trying to figure out what's going on, trying to escape, just trying to do anything. He's trying to get anybody to recognize him. Then they did a great image, look like he's splitting in two, but he's slipping in and out of time. And it goes back to season 1. See, that's a good thing when you have a great director and writer. What they're doing is showing you that you need to pay attention to season 1. A lot of people who do seasons 2, they fast forward a couple of months or years and they start the new season. So it makes it like you don't need to go watch season 1. You can just watch season 2. There's nothing really to go back to season 1. This is connected. It's like one storyline. So it isn't broken into seasons. It is continuous. So now, because of that, the importance of what happened at the end of season 1, when Sylvie kicks him, spoiler alert if you ain't seen it, sorry, kicks him through the door and he goes through this time loop. It's a whole new reality. So he's slipping in time. He's going either to the past before things happen and he slips up to the future. And he started to notice that based on little things that happened where he was, and he would come to the exact same spot he was or standing at many years later. And the time slip seems to be by hundreds of years. And by that time, hundreds of years ago, king statues were everywhere. Like in every four corners, there was a king statue. And then when they slip back into time, it's back into the timeline where they know him. He goes back to this normal timeline of, where they knew him and where Morbius is right there. And he like looking for Loki. He remembered going back in there, got pruned as he's looking for Judge Renslayer. He's telling people what is going on. And you got so then Wumi, she's going through her thing as B-15 and she's freeing everybody. Now you got Raphael Kazel in this from Transpotting. The Showtime series. Now he's here with Kate Dickey from Games of Thrones. They actually added Kihu Kwan, Data, and Short Round from Indiana Jones. Now that he got an Oscar, here comes some roles. So he's known as OB. And away they go on an adventure. Now, the way they introduce it, it keeps the energy level up. You're trying to figure out what's going on as they're trying to figure it out. And the whole TVA is battling itself. And the synopsis is all over the place. Right. I mean, it is. It's all over the place. Well, Eric Martin wrote this new installment and he sat down with Tom Hiddleston and Michael Waldron, who's the head writer of season one. And once they talked to Michael Waldron, because it's not the same writer as season one. Michael Waldron did season one, and Eric Martin's doing season two. This new installment is going to be executively produced by Martin. So he sat down with Tom Hiddleston and Michael Waldron. They're producing it. And they're going over how it's supposed to look. But if you watch the delivery, and it shows Loki's thinking as he's going back in time, as he's going back and to the present time. He's going to the past, he's coming back. He's going to the past, he's coming back. And every time he's doing it, it's stretching. It's becoming more and more pressing that he cannot continuously do this, or he's going to be continuously having these problems back and forth. And it's like, seems like it can't consistently go on because they're going to have to lock it out. And it's the clashing of timelines. And all of it is, quantum physics. But they want to snatch him out of the timeline. So he has to be pruned as they figure out that's the direction they had to go in. So this guy, OB, had to create a device. But first, he had to go to the past and talk to the guy. Well, actually, they were trying to talk to him, but when he, time slips, he goes back and talks to OB. About the time he pops back, OB remembers him now because he remembered a couple of 100 years ago. But it comes in after a couple minutes. He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember some guy. It was you, like about 400 years ago. You told me so." So it was cool the way they did that and wrote it in as if this is the same timeline. So after you tell yourself something, when you go to the future, it kicks in as a memory of something that did happen, and it had to get a recall situation. That was pretty cool. And the fact that they had to bring Loki out, and then the first episode is to get everybody back into the feel of what happened after season one. So this first episode is to get everybody back on board, but to acknowledge the threat, because everybody's finding out now that the timekeepers were alive, and they got the head there, so they're having a meeting how they're going to structure. They're going to start going out and just deleting all these timelines. You got one side saying we shouldn't, we're killing people, and the other people saying if we don't do this, everything is destroyed. The whole TVA, everything's gonna it's gonna overload. It's too many timelines, and it's just gonna probably explode and destroy everything. So now, with all these branches in time, that's everywhere. There's many new variants of Loki, not just Loki. I mean, of King the Conqueror. They're coming. And what he did was had the timeline in a balance. He who remains. So now he says all his variants are coming. And Loki believes it. So now that Loki believes it, it's a whole new reality that's coming into play. And this reality is entirely different than what they had laid out beforehand. See, now you have a era where Cain ruled, and they just got introduced to him. They never saw him before. Nobody saw him before. He was never the guy. So if somebody was never the guy, you're not going to see them when they show up. You see, the next season picked up all the aftermath from the shocking season finale, but you didn't see what they went through. So when he pruned the wall that had the timekeepers there, he had already went back and saw the faces of Cain, all the different variants of Cain, and said, "This is the guy who wiped all your memories. You have no memory of him putting the timekeepers in place and doing all this. You have no memory of what happened beforehand. He wiped your memories and stole you from time and brought all of you guys here. You guys are all variants." And he went to the future where the TVA is basically wiped out. And you hear Judge Renslayer on a tape with Cain, the Conqueror. So you hear her voice and you hear Cain's voice on a recording that's played. That Judge Renslayer and Cain are together. Because in real life, they are. In the comics and everything, that was ended up being his wife, the whole nine. Now, Miss Minutes, we still don't know what's going on with Miss Minutes. She's been missing, and they've been having a hard time trying to call her up and find Miss Minutes. Yeah, well, we'll find out more when that actually pops up, what Miss Minutes is going to do. Yeah, she's like a 1935 throwback character. Yeah, I look forward to the episode two and seeing where this aftermath picks up as they show Sylvie at the end in the end credits, where she arrives at McDonald's, and we saw from the trailer that she is working at a McDonald's. Now, don't forget, if you signed up for the membership, we gave away 3 movies today. We gave away Quantumania, it's first come, first served basis. John Wick 4 and Creed 3. So you got 3 movies today. And don't forget, if you are a Screen Fiend movie level subscriber to the page, you are also included in the PS5 giveaway, which is now going to be a gift card for the equivalent of a PS5, just in case you have a PS5. So, Loki, episode 1 of season 2. What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section, and we are gone. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Peace.